What's up YouTube, it's James here, and today I'm picking up one of my new projects. It's a 1960 Grumman Olson van. So you might have heard me talking about this thing in some of my previous videos. I actually bought this thing back in December, and today I'm here to pick it up. I'm going to move it out here to my shop space across town. So let's take a look at this thing. So we got this thing out at the shop. I'm going to walk around and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I'm going to do to this thing. So now that you've gotten a chance to take a look at this thing, this is a 1960 Grumman Olson Kurbside step van. And man, this thing is just cool, man. It just has this old school kind of look to it. And I don't know if you can tell, but this thing is actually all aluminum. So to give you a little bit of history on these step vans, these things were built by a company named Grumman, which made aluminum canoes prior to World War II. And in 1939, they had got an idea, maybe we should build an all-aluminum package delivery vehicle. Well, that idea got scrapped with the outbreak of World War II, and they focused their effort on actually building planes for the war effort. After the end of World War II in 1945, they put this step van into production. These step vans were used by a wide variety of companies, and one of their biggest customers was a package delivery service that we're all familiar with. So I found this thing over at my friend's house. He told me, he was like, man, I'm thinking about selling this thing. He threw out a price. I said, it's cool, I'll buy it. So I bought it back in December. And this is the first time you guys are seeing it. But the previous owner had this thing and they decided to turn it into an RV. So with doing that, they added this glass on the sides. And you can see where there's holes where the glass has been taken out. And then even back here on the back doors, they had actually cut out for windows there. I'm not really into that. I really want to reskin this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skin the side eventually, and I'm going to skin the back doors, and that way it'll be a panel truck again with no windows. But as you can see, this thing's in fairly good shape. We do have some delamination with the glass. You can have that glass recut. That's not a big deal. The corner glasses, I'm under the impression that you can buy reproductions. Let's take a look on the inside in here. And as you can see, this thing has an inline 6. Now this is all Chevrolet drivetrain and frame. And I'm under the impression that you could get these things in Chevrolet or Ford. But this is a Chevrolet. And I believe this is a 261 straight 6. It is a 5-speed manual. And as you can see, we have plenty of room in here also. A lot of room. Not sure what I'm going to do back here just quite yet. But I probably will eventually do like some kind of upholstery. I've got a roof in here I got to fix, and these wheels right here, now these are the wheels that I plan on running. They're actually GM transport wheels, and these things actually came on Cadillacs and stuff like that, and they would run these wheels until they got the Yukons and the Denali's and all that kind of stuff to the dealership, and then they would take these off and they would put the chrome wheels on, and I guess they were having problems with, you know, the chrome wheels getting stolen during transport. So they have these are pretty popular for guys doing hot rods and rat rods, and I love the way they look smooth. We'll eventually paint them up. Not exactly sure what color I want to go with them, but these are 22-inch wheels, so they'll have 22-inch tires on them. They look pretty good on like I said, rat rods and such like that. But yeah, man, I mean, overall I'm pretty impressed with this thing. It's pretty dirty, needs to be cleaned up. One thing I want to tell you about this thing, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with the body besides reskinning this thing and making it completely a panel truck again. I do want to open up the door on the driver's side. It's there, it's just kind of riveted in. And as you can see, this thing's been off the road for 30 years, so it's going to need some work. So I don't plan on using the drivetrain and the frame and all the suspension underneath this vehicle. I've got a donor vehicle. I'm going to let you take a look at that, and then I'm going to share a little bit about how I'm going to go about doing this swap and how I'm going to change everything over to this newer style suspension and drivetrain. So this is my donor vehicle. It's a 2005 Chevrolet Express van. It's a 1500 series, and this is what I'm actually planning on putting underneath this panel truck. And as you can see, it's 6-lug already, so that means I'll be able to put my transporter wheels on here without changing any of the suspension. Now, I have measured the wheelbase. This thing is actually 3 inches shorter than the wheelbase of the panel truck. I don't think that's going to be a big deal for the way the fenders are made on the panel truck, but this thing's got a 5.3 liter V8. It's got a 4L60 automatic, roughly around 171,000 miles. So I think the frame will fit great underneath that panel truck over there. And we do have some parts that we can probably sell and recuperate some of our money back. But basically, I just bought this thing for the frame, the engine, transmission, the drivetrain, the suspension. And another thing I'm thinking about doing with this thing is I'm actually thinking about putting this thing on air ride and put an air ride suspension on there. And that van chassis will accept the air ride suspension very well, unlike the one here on our panel truck. So the beauty about doing this drivetrain swap is that we'll have access to newer parts. These panel trucks, the parts are kind of hard to get. You can still get them, but engine parts and transmission parts and suspension parts and brake parts, they're kind of hard to come by. And this thing has a funny, weird lug pattern on it. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but this thing does have split rims on it, and you definitely don't want to run those. I think with what I'm going to do with this thing, I think it's going to look pretty cool. Putting it back as a panel, putting those wheels on it, lowering it down on the ground, put some fresh glass in it, and basically you'll be able to get in this thing and start it right up, drive it off. It'll be reliable. You shouldn't have any kind of drivability issues. So as you can see, I do have my work cut out for me, you know, with skinning the side of this thing, opening up that driver's door, making a passenger door, reskinning those rear doors, doing a frame swap, doing an air ride suspension. It's a lot of work, but I think the end product is going to be super cool, super awesome. Now, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with the body. I've actually thought about wrapping it, but I know I definitely do not want to paint this thing. So yeah, just stay tuned, and you'll get to see more of me working on this thing, and you'll get to see the progress as it goes along. So if you've enjoyed this project, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Click on the bell so you'll get the notifications. Like, share, comment below, and you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram.